You know that sinking feeling when you discover your so-called best friend has been hiding the worst secrets in the world? That's exactly what's happening right now with beauty guru James Charles, and it's dragging his reputation through the mud once again. Just when we thought he turned a new leaf with apologies, brand deals, and a shiny new audience of younger fans, the internet has yanked the rug out from under him with one of the juiciest scandals yet. It all began with Kayla Malik, a TikToker who bravely went public this month to share the darkest chapters of her life. She recounted how her ex-boyfriend, influencer Evan Johnson, manipulated her emotionally, broken promises, gaslighting, and cruelty that left her reeling. Viewers rallied behind Kayla's raw honesty, bruised hearts, shattered trust, a story all too familiar to anyone who's ever loved and lost. But in the wash of public sympathy for Kayla, a former friend of Evan's, let's call him Zach, stepped forward and blew the lid off a hidden layer to the drama. It turns out James Charles, that darling of YouTube makeup tutorials, had been friend-dating Evan through it all. Late-night FaceTimes, anonymous vanish mode Instagram DMs, even invitations to stay under the same roof. While Kayla was bleeding on camera, James was nowhere to be found in her corner. Zach's account was chilling. At first, Evan would jokingly send James selfies, the kind of harmless banter you'd expect between influencers. But as months passed, those exchanges shifted to Instagram's vanishing messages, each confession disappearing the moment it was read. Soon enough, what began as playful flirting morphed into covert scheming. And James, instead of standing up for his friend Kayla or demanding accountability from Evan, stayed silent as their secret relationship deepened. Then came the Valentine's Day pitch, one of the most disturbing turns yet. James reached out to Kayla and Evan with a promotional idea, a couple's shoot for his new beauty line, a cutesy Valentine's Day campaign. When Kayla, still reeling, informed him they'd broken up, James allegedly replied, "Can I have him now?" as if her pain were nothing more than a casting change in his beauty empire. It wasn't a joke, it was a direct betrayal of the woman who once considered him a trusted friend. That wedge only drove deeper when plans for Coachella emerged. James purportedly intended to fly Evan out on an artist's wristband, a VIP experience, even as Kayla's story raged online, only cancelling at the last minute once the public fallout threatened his carefully curated image. The realization that he was ready to drop Kayla mid-crisis, all for the sake of a few Instagram clout points, was the final low blow. Still, James chose silence. No public apology to Kayla. No acknowledgement of their broken friendship. When confronted by Zach in a now-deleted Instagram DM, James finally offered a reactive defense. He felt disgusted once Kayla went public, he claimed, and had cut Evan off, too. He blamed the secrecy on a shared sense of empathy, painting himself as inadvertently complicit rather than a willing participant. But his words rang hollow, an actor's script to save face. What makes this scandal even more disturbing is the audience it reaches. James's resurgence in recent years owed everything to a new generation of young fans, many of whom don't know, or perhaps have never been told, about the darker chapters of his past controversies. They only see the glitter, the tutorials, the carefully polished persona. Yet here he is again, repeating the same cycle: befriend someone, cross ethical lines, face backlash, apologize, rinse and repeat. No matter how many brand deals he lands or late-night show appearances he books, this drama has citizens asking the same question. Has James truly changed, or are we just watching the same troubling patterns play out on a different platform? He may have swapped Snapchat for Instagram vanish mode, but the core issue remains. He pursued a vulnerable friend's ex under cloak of silence, only to flee when her truth went public. Now, Kayla continues her advocacy for online safety, urging young viewers to watch for vanish mode tricks and hidden messages. Evan Johnson, meanwhile, grapples with a backlash for exploiting relationships in pursuit of clout. And James Charles? He's left with a choice: face the firestorm head-on, with a genuine apology, unfiltered transparency, and real accountability, or let his silence echo, an admission that he'd rather protect his brand than protect the people he once claimed to care for. Because here's what no apology tour can erase: you can't Photoshop away betrayal. You can't airbrush out the hurt of a friend whose confidences you traded for engagement metrics. And you certainly can't livestream your redemption unless you're willing to show the scars. That's the tea for now. What do you think? Is this another cycle of performative regret, or can James Charles finally break the loop? Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe for the full scoop every week. I'm Naka, and I'll see you next time.